Hi guys, today we are going to learn about combo boxes on JFrame. Last week, we learned about text fields and how the user can input anything they want as answers for the application. Sometimes, we have to control what the user can type. For example, this includes questions about gender. It is not in the best interest to make this an open-ended question. A combo box is used to provide the user with predetermined choices that they can select from a drop-down menu. Smesh will now teach you guys how to use them in Java.
Hey everyone, so today we're going to be doing some combo box stuff. And as Justin just explained, combo boxes are basically just a way to, control the responses of your form. So what we have to do is drag a combo box from the palette and put it onto our frame. And obviously we can resize it to however we want, and we can also change the color of it and customize it in any way we want as well by right-clicking and clicking the properties button. Now another thing to watch out for in the property section for combo boxes specifically is the model. Now what the model does, it allows you to select or create the 4 different options you want the user to have. And it just doesn't have to be 4, it can be like 2, 3, 4, 5, really any number that you want. All you have to do is just add a comma and add another field that you'd want to have. So for the purpose of the form that I'm creating, I just want 2 different options. So I might say male and female, and I'll separate them by these 2 commas. And to check to see if it works, all I have to do is click play, and it will pop up. So you can see gender selector, and then when I click this, I have option between male and female, and I was the one that selected these 2 options. And now the user can only put these 2 options onto the form. So let me just put it over here, and let me drag a text field over here. And once again, add a text, make it empty, make it to the size we want. Perfect. So now let's find out a way to make these combo boxes come alive into a real program. Sorry guys, one thing I forgot to mention is that we also need a button for this form, because after all, buttons are usually what create and make the form come alive, because they're usually the part that we have to code. So I'm just going to make a button called submit. Awesome. So now let me go to source, and all I have to do is minimize this, and I'll go back to design, double click the submit button so it appears over here as JButton1. So obviously it's good manners to actually rename and change your variables, so it makes it easier. So that's exactly what we're going to do right now too. I'm going to change the variable name, I'm going to make it submit button, and I'm also going to change the name of this combo box over here. Which change variable name, and I'm just going to call it combo box. Awesome. So as I said before, as we're coding this, we're going to want to make sure that all of our code is in between these 2 curly brackets for the submit button. So when this button is pressed, we want a specific thing to happen. The first thing that we want to happen is for the value of whatever is selected in this combo box to be received by the computer. So whatever the user selects, whatever is selected by the time the user clicks submit on this combo box, that value will have to be saved and outputted on this text box. But the first part is really retrieving what is selected on this box. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. So all we have to do is a simple code where we straight up just write .get selected item bracket. Now this is going to be the function, and obviously when we put a dot, we have to reference what we're talking about, just like what we did before with the buttons and the text fields when we were transferring text from text fields. So in this situation, the variable that I called it is combo box. Obviously this will be whatever you named your variable, and combo box gets selected item. So this will get whatever is selected, so in this case it's male. However, it's getting the raw selection. What we want is a string, because at the end of the day, only strings can be outputted on these text fields. So we want whatever value comes out of this to get converted to a string. And the easiest way to do this is to do another dot and use the function .toString for 2 parentheses. And then we can close it with this. Now, what we have right now is this huge line of code to get the value of whatever selected and convert it into a string. But what exactly can we do with this, long value? What exactly can we do with it? Well, if we want to output it onto the text field, then we can apply the same learning as before. So all we have to do is do the following right here, which is JTextField1. Well, obviously we don't want to name it that because we want to have more flexibility with the name. So I'm going to call it text display. And I'm going to set it like that. And all I have to do is minimize this in case it pops up again. And I have to write text display dot set text bracket, and you're going to want to make sure you close this bracket over here. Now this is how you can do it in one step. Just literally set the text display to whatever you get from the combo box and convert it to a string. A lot of people might have trouble with this, which is why you can also separate it in 2 lines. For example, you could take out whatever was inside of here and store it inside of a variable called string output equals this, bracket like that. And since you're converting it to a string, you can just simply put the output that is getting outputted on the text display, which is why you can play around with it and make it however you want it to be in order to format it correctly. So now when we click play, all we have to do is we can select whatever we want. So if I select male, all I have to do is click submit, it turns to male. And if I select female, it turns to female, just like that. Now obviously a good program always manipulates data and makes it into whatever we want it to be. So obviously the same rules apply, and you can add your own personalized text over here by saying, say something like you are a space, and obviously don't forget to add the plus as well. And just like that, we can create our first program with combo boxes. So when we click play once again, all we have to do, select something we want, submit, male, female, submit. And the best part about the Netbeans program, it's so easy to edit this by just going back to properties and clicking comma. Well, you can also do like an alien, werewolf, I don't know, lizard, helicopter, whatever you want to put, really, the sky's the limit. And all you have to do is click play, and all of your options can be selected here, and it will simply output whatever you want it to output. Now to make it even more advanced, you could even add an if-else statement here and make it so that when the combo box is a specific output, for example, if you selected helicopter as an output, then maybe you can have an if-else statement that says, well, if output equals helicopter, say, hey, that's not a real gender, just like that. Alright guys, so for your homework, I just want you guys to create a program that allows you to select a specific movie. So make it out of a selection from 4 different movies, or at least, 4 or above, really. And for every single movie that they select, there should be a different message that pops up. For example, if one of your movies is Avengers, for example, then on the text there should be a specific message about Avengers. If another movie that you have is I don't know, like The Hobbit, then there should be a specific text about The Hobbit. And that should be it. So a helpful tip for this homework, you are going to have to use an if-else statement when you click the submit button, and you are going to have to use the string text from the combo box and put it into a variable. Alright guys, that's it for this week. It was a bit short, but it's incredibly useful. And next week we're going to get into some more stuff from the palette so we can create the best forms possible. Alright guys, see you then.